Hi again, my name is Rebel and I'm the Rebel Reseller, and today I'm doing, I was going to say, is this my last what sold before we go on vacation, or am I going to try to do another one?
No, we're going to do two more.
Two more.
We got two more. We got this is through the, how much?
Through the 14th.
Through the 14th. So we've got through the 18th and then the 21st to do before we get out of here. So you got a lot of work to do in the next few days.
All right.
And then I got some editing to do, and I got a haul video to edit, and we probably got another haul video to record and edit before we get out of here in 4 days.
Yeah.
5 days.
5 days.
6 days.
6 days.
Saturday, whenever it is.
Saturday.
Christmas is in 4 days. 2 days later, we're leaving.
It's crazy here. I gave in, and I'm trying to get some listings ready for when we're traveling so that I have something to list every day. But I don't even know if I'll get 5 a day done while we're traveling. Just not feeling it. Just not feeling it. But I've got quite a few Etsy's to share with you. And then as far as eBay, we had turned off our promoted listings the morning of the 12th. And this is for last weekend, December 12th through the 14th. My sales were excellent for these 3 days. And then it dropped off. And I think maybe somebody had made a comment in the video that it's because I turned off my promotions. I had 3 days of good sales after we did that. I just think a lot of it right now is, there's no more shipping stuff to get it there by Christmas unless they want to pay overnight, and most people don't. My mantra, y'all, I need to put it in like big, bold letters. Work less, play more next year. Work more, play less next year.
There's no playing less for me.
No, I know it just sounded good.
That's not, no.
All right, so let me go ahead and share with you. I think my best sale was on Etsy. And then I was still having really good sales. You know, it's funny though. I've seen 2 Facebook posts, and I know I'm small potatoes in the YouTube world. But I've saw 2 large YouTubers who said next year they are going to start looking more at plush. And I thought, that's good. It's getting more people out there looking and saving, especially if they're binge shoppers, saving the plush, because it just makes me sad thinking of all this stuff going to the landfills. So I thought it was interesting. And I think they're mostly clothing resellers, and they're like, yeah, I think I'm going to start looking at plush a little bit more. So
having a little variety is good. Our sales used to be, like this all year, and then fourth quarter and a little bit of January, and then it was like that. Now clothes brought the rest of the year up. They don't sell a lot more in the fourth quarter for us, really, I don't think. But it brought the rest of the year up, which has made the rest of the year nicer for us. And if you're a steady clothing seller and you could get into some toys, plush toys, whichever, I mean the same thing sort of, just a more niche down, but then you could have that nicer spike in the fourth quarter to start your new year off with a stack of, I'd say a stack of cash, but we don't ever, if I had a stack of cash around here, it'd be like $1 bills that went like 10 high. Not that bad, but we're not getting rich, but we're having a good time and loving life.
Yes. All right, so let me share. First thing on Etsy was this tie classic. Y'all, tie does pretty good on Etsy. This was a Stretch the Cat with the arched back, sold for $17.95. Stuffin's Dalmatian dog plush from 1996, sold for $26.95. Another tie, Tiger plush, sold for $17.95. Eden musical lamb plush, the music box worked, sold for $17.95. I still haven't figured out why Etsy, really pushes you to put a video of your stuff. It says, it increases your chance of selling by this much, but there's no sound. So it doesn't help me with this type of stuff. I don't put any videos on there. But I just think that's odd that there's no sound. So it doesn't help those of us who are trying to prove that something works. finally sold this. It's been a while. Kenner Tree Tots Treehouse sold for $40.45. Busilla Christmas to All a Good Night Table Runner sold for $13.45. And last but not least, my best sale, Kenner Strawberry Shortcake Orange Blossom from 1983 sold for $125.95. Now her saving grace is she has the bonnet and she has the booties. Almost always one or both of them is missing. And she was in really nice condition, very clean body, and it sold on Etsy. I had no doubt that it was going to sell there, and yeah, I'm glad it's gone. Nice sale though. Franco SpongeBob SquarePants Pillow Plush sold for $24.95. I've done very well with the large pillow-sized SpongeBob. Not quite sure what that's all about. Robert picked this up. I don't know if it was at the bins or in a estate sale, but it was a vintage Woman, Man, the classic confrontation game from 1971, and it sold for $19.95. Playmobil 4190 horse playset was not complete. This was in that large lot of Playmobil stuff that I picked up. I had somebody want to know what pieces were missing. I cannot answer those types of things. A lot of times these, I'm not going to put them together. So I just say not assembled and not complete. And hopefully it's somebody who's just adding on to a set that they already have. But it sold for $38. Mattel Toy Story Dr. Evil pork chop figure sold for $17.95. That never stays very long. There's supposed to be like something that fits in the bottom of him. I'll show you under here. I can't even remember what it is at this point. I never have found it with it. It still sells very quickly for me. Jellycat Curvy the Sheepdog plush sold for $44.95. Oshkosh denim bib overalls for a toddler, 24 months, sold for $11. Y'all, this has been listed probably since 2023. I thought Oshkosh kids were worth picking up. Not really. It's like ones with flowers or designs or stuff like that, not just usually the regular ones. Mary Meyer White Fluffy Rabbit plush sold for $20.20. This was cute. It was a little Aurora pink newborn panda bear plush from 2022, $13.45. We sold all of them. Robert had picked up 4 of these Chick-fil-A waffle fry ornaments. These are this year's release from Chick-fil-A. Paid $8 plus tax on them, and we've sold all 4. I sold this one for $16. I think I'm going to show you in a second. We sold the other one. I'm not sure if this is number 2 and 3 and we sold another one, or if this was 3 and 4. I don't know, but I just know they're all gone. This is Hallmark Rodney Reindeer. Now this one is actually even smaller than the small ones. It was only 3 inches wide. It sold for $13.45. Mattel Barbie Pool Patio Life Preserver. This was from that large lot of vintage Barbie stuff that I picked up at a kids consignment sale. I want to say I paid $7 or $8 for this bag. I divided it up into lots. It's not sold very quickly. I'm way into the profit, but I've still got a lot of it left. But this just one little life preserver sold for $13.45. I threw this together. It was just 2 hodgepodge hand puppets. One was the St. Jude's bear, and the other one was just a kid puppet that had VIP on it. Threw them together, and they sold in like 2 weeks on an offer of $7, but they're gone. Wicked, the Broadway musical of Wicked. This is the Flying Monkey plush, and it sold for $15.25. My brain went blank there for a second. Aurora Green Dinosaur and the Alligator plush. I've had one of these listed. I actually have a quantity of 2 for a long time. And then I found the other one. I think it was the little alligator. And I thought, why not? Let's put them together. Let's do the lot thing on these also. And they sold, I think the same day. I listed them. $16.95. I love the lots, y'all. This is a Russ Yomiko Orange Tabby Cat. Again, been listed since probably before 2022, based on my numbers up there. And it sold for $30. I had the price too high. I dropped the price, and it sold in about 2 months after I dropped the price. This is a Baby Boyd's Giraffe plush, sold for $11.66. Picked this up when we were in Missouri. I don't think it was last time, it was the time before. It was at a thrift store that Robert found quite a few jeans there, and then when we went back there this last time, they had raised the prices on everything and was selling on eBay now. Also, I want to say I paid $5 for this, maybe 10, can't remember, and it finally sold for $40. Wrangler men's denim shorts in December, $14.68. It's warm somewhere, right? Gund Snowman plush, sold for $10. I like Gund, but for the most part, bread and butter, and sometimes it takes a while. I pick up a lot of character plush, and a lot of them, I don't even know who they are. I just know they're character plush. Come to find out, this is Disney Junior Muppet Babies. His name was Captain Ice Cube, and he sold very quickly for me in about a week, maybe a week and a half, $8.96. Another bread and butter, drop the price, make it gone. Hanging Witch plush, sold $8.96.
So before you go on, this is going to be our last What Sold video. Goes up before Christmas. So Merry Christmas, y'all.
Merry Christmas.
Hope you all have a good one. The fourth quarter's been good for you, good to you. Enjoy your family.
Yes. Yes.
I'm connected with a whole bunch of people on Facebook that I've never met in real life, and I probably never will meet in real life. But I see so many people asking for prayers lately with, like a mom's in the hospital, or just parents and grandparents. It's just, hold your family tight. Sorry, y'all. We're back. We had an interruption. And so if we're looking like we're laughing right now, it's not what we were just talking about. It's what we were talking about in between, during the interruption there. But yeah, it's, I don't know. Christmas is different when you're older, and we get to go back and visit my family, which is really nice. And we're going to spend Christmas Eve with RJ's mom and her family, and just, enjoy life. There's a lot more to life than chasing a dollar or chasing an adventure somewhere.
Yep.
It's the people that make a difference in this world, I think. But now that you've thought about your family, think about next year. Because it's not all about the dollar, but you got to have a dollar to eat. So what are you going to do different next year? What did you do this year that you've done or have done in the past that you're going to keep doing? And what are you going to do next year that's different to make things better, or in Rebel's case, better in a different way by slowing down some? So what are you changing? And I was talking to a lady at church today. We were walking back to our cars at the parking lot, and our kids homeschool together, and we were talking about the local college and being intentional about stuff. And I said, and it gets that way with your kids in your life too, that if you're not intentional with how you spend your life, you'll be 10 years down the road and you'll be like, what happened to all my time? Mm-hmm. And it can happen that way with your life, but it can happen that way with your business. All of a sudden it's almost fourth quarter and you didn't get the things done that you wanted to get done. So be intentional with your business and with your family and friends and the good times that you could have with them.
All right, this is the second to the last or last. I can't remember. of the waffle fry ornament. This one sold for $17.95. I want to say 2 of them sold at the full price. One sold at the $17.95 and one sold at the $16. So I think it all in all was worth, do I want to spend $8 on one item? No. But, it was quick turnaround, and, we were able to provide this item for, people who don't have access to it.
So we took off again on a rabbit hunt, right?
Yep.
So we went and looked up on this $17.95. Our net after shipping was $14.93. In Tennessee, we have 10% sales tax, $8. So we paid about $8.80 for these. So we made $6.13 on this. Now, we don't normally pay $8 to make $6.
No.
However, we paid $32 to make $24, and it happened in about a week.
Less than a week.
Yeah, it was fast.
Yep.
So, and it was 4 items, but it was just one listing with a quantity of 4. So I plan to do this again next year if I remember to, because
Yep.
it's easy. It's fast money. It's easy money. Not as high on the multiplier as we normally do, but that doesn't mean y'all get to go out and flood the market so we can't sell them next year.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, it'll be a good deal.
Yeah. All right. Bonanza Bean Card Game from 2016 sold for $17.95.
Please tell me you had that music in your head.
For what?
Bonanza.
Nope.
How did you not?
Did not. Here's another one of the lots that I put together back in October. Started out with the first moose there, and then I added this other deer to it, and it sold again in about 3 weeks, $17.95. Can you tell I'm really pushing people, especially with your old inventory? Find something, lot them up, and see if you can make them gone. This, I am surprised. It's been listed forever, and I finally sold it. I've done so well in the past with this brand, Best Made Toys. This was a large plush dog. What is it? Saint Bernard looking one with the sleepy eyes. And I finally, after years, sold it for $22. Roblox action figures, a bunch. I had a lot, and then Robert found a bunch of these, I think, in the bins on the last trip. So I just took the listing down, made a new listing of all of these, and they sold for $26.95. Another gunned Easter white lamb plush sold for $12.11. My blankie pink flannel and satin lovey sold for $15.95. Robert bought a bunch of playing cards at an estate sale once upon a time, and they literally have sat forever. I may just go ahead and take them down at some point, maybe make one huge lot, but for some reason these sold. I guess it's that time of year where you buy just odd stuff, put in stockings to remind somebody about a trip or something like that. But these were sealed Grand Casino playing cards, and they sold $9.95. IKEA cute little cat puppet sold for $27. Toby robot talking space toy. I think I sold one recently that was still in the original box. It was the silver one. This one is the gold one. Let's see, what did I say? It does talk, but I couldn't figure out how to make it walk. Just be honest in your descriptions. Have a video, and it sold for $29.95. This sold very, very quickly, like the same day or next day. It is Sequence Cats card and board game from 2013, sold for $26.95. This person bought 4 pairs of Wrangler jeans. Just love when that happens, especially when right now I'm trying to get rid of a lot of the older inventory or moving it over to Robert's store. They ended up paying $45.78 for two Wrangler men's jeans, an American Legacy amongst others pair of jeans, and a women's Carolina Blues jeans. I love that. Tonka Pound Puppies dog with clothes. I don't find them a lot of times with the clothes. This one is one of the smaller ones from 1985, sold for $9.95. Lil Bob Evans plush. I find like biscuit and gravy, and I think there's another third character from the Bob Evans restaurant chain, but this was, I guess, Lil Bob, and he sold for $17.95. Another baby blanket. I don't remember where I picked it up, but it had, a paper card on it giving me that it was made by the Three Weavers. I've seen that brand in the past. Ended up selling the blanket for $31. Treehouse Kids giant stuffed mahi fish sold for $20. I think this is more of the Loving Family stuff that I picked up at the bins this last time. Now, y'all, I learned something that I did not know. That little yellow baby, somebody sent me a message saying, did it have a heart on its back? I guess there's a set of these babies. They look identical, except for that thing on the back. And those babies are interactive with one of the doll houses. Didn't know. I guess there's a whole series of that family. I didn't see a heart on there. She kept saying, is it like hollow? I couldn't tell, so I just answered honestly. I do not even know if this is the same person who bought it, but I'll learn something based on the questions. I did not realize, and from this point forward I'll watch to see if I find these dollhouse figures that have hearts on them. Amanda, Fiona finds Rocket City Resellers. You might want to go look through your dolls that I know you are trying to source right now to see if you've got any with that little heart on the back. I just learned about it. All right, my Banky Billy the Bear plush Lovey sold for $17.95. Y'all, I had two of these. I sold them within a day of each other. This is the first one, Spark Create Imagine Tan Dog plush, sold for $11. And then I sold the other one, $13.45. Not the same people. All right, picked these up a couple of weeks ago at a yard sale. They are Lily Pulitzer Pottery Barn baby blankets, swaddle blankets. I paid $3 each. And then I bought a bunch of other blankets and stuff. I decided to put these three together. I was just wanting to make one listing for all of them, and they sold in about 3 days, $45. And last but not least, Robert picked these up at an estate sale recently. We paid, what, $1 each for them, but they had these little pink plastic handles, vintage kitchen utensils, made in Korea, and sold in about 2 weeks for full price, $49.95. Two of the handles were even damaged. I showed them in the pictures. They were gone very quickly. All right, and then for what Robert sold. First thing were these Charter Club curvy bootcut jeans. A lot of times we pick up bootcut jeans, flare jeans, just because they seem to be more popular. Will we pick up this brand again? Probably not. It took probably 2 years to sell, $13.21. Isaac Mizrahi Live Essentials turtleneck shirt sold for $10. These lingerie that I picked up, had in my store since probably early summer this year, are selling almost immediately after I put them over on his store. It's just the weirdest thing. The brand is Eris. I just used lingerie, slip, dress, gown. Sold for $19.54. Wrangler Q Baby. Q Baby and George Strait are two of the Wrangler jeans that we love finding and picking up. These Q Babies, which were size 3-4, sold for $24.01. another Wrangler pair of jeans. Probably wouldn't pick them up again. Sold for $11. And then this Sunderland of Scotland weather beater pullover jacket sold for $11. All right, hope you guys enjoyed this. It's a little cold out here. I'm ready to go next door. It is actually coming up on dinner time. And I'm going to call it a day. Anything else you want to add?
I want to call it a day, but I got to edit video.
Yes, you do. I worked over here while you were gone earlier.
Remember that part where, she wants me to work more, play less, while she goes inside to relax, and I have to keep working.
Yep. All right, y'all. Get to work with Robert. Bye.